Hello Taurus, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm preparing here to do your reading. Just shuffling for the layout for you Taurus. Hope you're doing okay. So I've been a little bit off the channel because my son is sick. And he can't really digest or take in food much. So, well, but that's the reason. I don't know if there's something like that also for you Taurus, but it's difficult if you have children who are not eating right, because they get exhausted and they get tired and they get, weak. And we can't really deal with weak in our society, can we? If it even becomes worse than that, they become more lifeless. It's then it becomes a very scary thing, right? This started. His illness started around the 28th of February, and at that point there was a big conjunction between the Pisces Sun and Saturn, and he has placements in that area, so of course he got sick. But still today, more than a week after, we still have an issue, you could say. It's better, but not good. Maybe you had something like that also. Think back, maybe 10 days back or so. I know for others it could have been a heavy time. And with Pisces in the midst, you could even have people who died at that point. So, I feel like one thing I want to say that kind of shines through for me personally, but also I think it's necessary to be said, especially if you have Capricorn in your chart. Magic shows itself, the sorcerer and the gatherer here. We'll have a look at that. Gathering, sorcerer, magic, I don't know. What I wanted to say is something like, I believe in different energies here on Earth. I believe that there are different cores in all of us, and those cores are either drained or nurtured by something specific. So if you are, like me, primarily feminine driven, you may have a need for peace in your core. And you are Taurus, ruled by Venus. You could have something like this as well. But you see, my sense of peace is maybe not the same as yours. Like, you may have a different kind of peace, something that gives you peace, something that is, when it comes in, you know it, right? For earth signs, I believe that it has to do with like earthy stuff. So it means a lot to have enough money, something about like having enough money gives you peace, like it makes you relax. Having food on the table, the bills paid, roof over your head, shelter, warmth, all those earthy but practical and but also necessary for us to have like a base, like that's the primal needs that we know that we are sheltered, that we know we have warmth and food, that this is some of the primal things that needs to be present and needs to be maybe provided also to others. If you have children, for instance, if you are a male Taurus, you could have the feeling you need to provide for your family, your wife, your children, and so on. So there could be an emphasis on money. You're the second house, money, right? Money, a roof over your head, bills paid, food on the table, stability in that sense, that it has to be rather stable, a stable income, a stable, so that it provides a sense of peace. I believe all feminine signs have a need for peace. Like a peace inside is, when you feel a peace inside, this is where you can flow more. The feminine can flow more. When it relaxes and is like these basic things that are necessary for you are taken care of or provided or somehow there, then you can relax more and it's more stable and things like that. I'm a Cancerian sun, I'm a water feminine. So in my case, it has to do with emotional peace. Also, well, it's not that I discard the others, but there can be certain angles to it, right? But what I'm saying, the reason why I mention this is, if you cannot have peace for some reason, if your earthy experience is threatened, like if you don't have food on your table, if you don't have shelter, you live on the street, you're homeless, if you don't have money, and sometimes when we are lacking in this area, we also have low self-esteem, low confidence, and this all becomes this package, you could say, or a bubble where nothing is thriving in here for a Taurus, right? If you don't have these basic things present in your life, I believe that we have a very unhappy Taurus, and a Taurus that can't find peace. It's very difficult to find peace and flow and relax, sleep. It's difficult to function, maybe even, if these things are not present, provided or present, or even if you have to provide it for yourself, you would say. what sometimes happens is that to get the peace back, to get it back, we may do many kinds of things to get it. Like to get it from others, we may manipulate them, gaslight them, we may blame them, we may beg them, cling to them, things like that. Just to get the peace back, like to get out of the discussions or the blame or the criticism or something, we just say yes, or we just comply maybe, just to have, a peaceful time. But you are a fixed sign, Taurus. It's normally you would, I believe, stay true to your convictions. You wouldn't change your mind that easily, unless something very vital is threatening your core peace, you could say. Then maybe you would have to, but it wouldn't feel great. Like it would feel like an invasion, or that something that is very you is somehow broken down in some way. But I see, and this is one of the teachings of Saturn, I believe, and Capricorn energy, especially if you have Capricorn in your chart, if you're dealing with a Capricorn, or if you have felt this around a week or so ago, 10 days or so, if you have felt that there's something that pushed you in some way. Because you see, in this world, this is my conclusion at least, that in this world there are those who exude peace when they are balanced. They are calm. They are also the people that other people could find peace with, because they are not a threat. They are not angry. They are not, they seem like a teddy bear, So if I could choose between a teddy bear or a lion, I would probably choose the teddy bear if I need shelter, comfort, reassurance, and so on. So when Taurus is balanced, it can exude a rather calm, even embracing kind of energy. When it's out of balance, though, it becomes very different. It's defending itself, because the peace, I believe, is threatened. And one of the ways where we can feel threatened is through loved ones, like our children. If they, as I said in the beginning, if they are sick, like to the point where they are almost lifeless, they're not eating, or they are not listening to some of the advice we may give them, and they go and do the exact opposite, and they end up in very terrible situations, or they become very ill or sick or something, then it's now disturbing this peace that we want. And I think for all feminine signs or feminine driven signs, no matter whether you are male or a female, I think it's important to think about this peace, and how to get it. Because you can be surrounded by people that are not giving you peace, like they are not providing peace, or situations are not providing peace in your life. And we can deal with that for a while, but then eventually we are drained by it. We can stay in situations where We may provide and give and give and give to a situation, but it never changes. We can even ask ourselves, is it because I'm literally not providing what is necessary, or is it because they don't want to get well? They don't want to, they want to keep me, like they are expecting me to keep giving. That something prefers to stay ill and not recover. They prefer that more because they know that it's giving me unease. And then I provide even more, you know? Like that is a very Saturn-like energy. Well, this situation with my son right now, I guess maybe we will have around 3 weeks yet still to go with this illness of his. And it's all right. I have just realized that in my own life that I have seen myself do this. I've seen myself needing peace and trying to calm a situation around me if I could. You know, like even if I had to change myself, even if I had to become a different child in my family, if it would help to to calm something down, I would do it, because I needed my own peace. I needed some kind of balance there, right? So I have seen myself do that. I've seen myself change. I've seen myself provide certain things in order for it to calm down so that I could calm down. Does that make sense? So I'm just, and yeah, right now my son's illness, yes, of course I get, I'm aware of this situation, but I haven't always been that. I think for feminine signs it's extremely important to choose peace in some way or some area. To choose something that allows you to feel peaceful. So maybe it's about moving away. Maybe you have a summer house somewhere and actually you should stay there more, in nature or in quiet places. Maybe the job you have is actually not providing you any kind of peace at all. I believe all feminine signs can end up becoming caretakers, fixers, things like that, because we need the peace. And there is so much disturbance in the world, so there's always something to do, right? There's always something to fix or caretake or to balance in some way. But the thing is that there are other energies in this world that are not looking for the core peace. Like they have a different drive. They want the drama more than they want the peace. So as long as they are drama driven, this is what they are creating. This is what they leave behind. This is what they're saying. This is what they're doing. This is what they are somehow showing up with. And as long as we engage in that, you will not have that peace that you're looking for. I just feel like I should say that something like this, for you, Taurus. Let's have a look at the center card here. 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is, well, you can see they're fighting. I hope you can see that they're fighting. There are 5 young boys here. They are playing around with sticks here, and well, usually it can just be a fun game, you know. You could see it a bit like these are boys playing football together, right? The Wands energy can be fun. It can be exciting. It can be adventurous. It can be victorious, whatever they're doing here. So we could see them as playing football here. And it starts out with like being a great game. They're all into it. They all want to participate. But then, you know, one gets the ball in the head and it hurts, right? And another one is tackled very hard and falls to the ground and hurts himself. And then eventually it's like the game changes. It changes from something fun and something we all thought we liked and something we all wanted to participate in. And then it becomes like this, you know, we can have a grudge here. Like we can even become like really angry with each other and, you know, argue, or some, you know, like the fire energy can be difficult. They may handle it differently. Maybe they have a different temper. They could like explode into rage here. 5 of Wands is what I usually call something from childhood, when you were younger here. Or it has a young expression, meaning that it hasn't civilized itself much yet. It's still an immature expression, maybe we would call it. You know, we haven't quite dealt with our anger, we haven't quite dealt with the grudge, or we haven't quite understood that maybe others didn't want to harm us, but they did it anyway, it happened anyway. And we may hold a grudge, but there could also be things that we're only remembering certain things if this is from childhood. I sometimes see this as a childhood trauma card, like that something could have been happening where all energies in here are pretty immature, even if they're adults here. How this was handled was pretty immature. Or with, you know, a lot of temper, with a lot of I would even say that, because I just had that pre-introduction here about like these dynamics that could have been playing out for some here when Saturn was it was a big conjunction. I know that, and of course it will show up differently for all of you. But you know, something comes in. I have a friend, and it was actually, she was celebrating her birthday around that time, and what happened was that her sons came home, and both of them had somehow had a quarrel with their girlfriends, and they had broken up with them, and you know, they came home, and it was supposed to be her birthday, but it should be a celebrative, nice, you know, afternoon and evening together, right? But they showed up and they were heartbroken and felt terrible and everything, and like this day now turned into this calming session for my friend and the mother of these two boys here, right? Or young men. That actually, from having prepared, a birthday dinner and inviting them and everything, now suddenly it became almost this calming counseling session where she was sitting there and, she understood that they were heartbroken. She understood that they felt terrible and this was dramatic and intense and everything. But it just changed like the entire day, right? Her intentions for the day got totally interrupted by, you could say, someone else's drama in that case. She was a Pisces, which is also a feminine water sign, right? And of course she wanted to help them and calm them and soothe them and nurture in what way she could, which is normally the feminine thing, that's what we do. We try to calm everything. We try to calm it down, calm the fire, calm the water, calm everything down so that we can breathe again. But the point is that, she had no choice, right? Like she couldn't carry on with her birthday plans and maybe her, her hope for a nice, good day, because suddenly this heavy energy came in the door and she had to deal with it somehow. Or she got involved in it, So when something comes and it puts this load on feminine energy, usually we have no choice. We have to somehow calm it down. Otherwise, we are hurting. Like it drains us if there's too much drama going on. So a situation like this could be, I don't know, arguments or literally fighting. I don't hope it's fist fighting, right? But it could be something like that. It could be that you grew up in an environment like this, where it was all about fighting for your own rights. It was a messy environment to grow up in, perhaps, yeah. This is in the center, so this is an important card. You see, when this is in the center, it tells me the opposite of peace. Like, this is not peaceful. It can be fun, but it usually turns out to become messy and disturbing and tumultuous. And people can even get hurt here, needing, like medical help or something. This is not peace. And it's in the center here. So you see, if this is in your core, if you grew up with this, it has become an everyday thing to take care of something like this. The problem with this is that we get used to this. Like, this is what we grow up with. This becomes our roots. Right? Becomes our roots. Where I believe for all feminine signs, you need the exact opposite to thrive, to flow as feminine energy. So what happens with this is that because we get used to it, it's familiar. And when we grow up, well, you will have friends that provide this. You will have spouses, wives, husbands that provide this. You will have children where this is going on. You will have a lot of this in your life, unless you become aware of it. And the point is that what you end up being is a caregiver or fixer of something here. You never really show us your true Taurus energy. Because it can't. Like the true Taurus energy comes when there is peace. when there is calm, that's when it comes. That's when it would allow itself to show itself with whatever beautiful feminine energy it could bring. You're known for being the Hierophant, the High Priestess. You can have certain special gifts. You could be very creative, you know. But this can only manifest itself when there's calm and peace. And of course we can shout, you know, we can ask people to shut the F up, right? So we can have our peace, but otherwise it's something about soothing whatever is happening so that the peace comes in again, the balance comes in again. But you can be, like, you can stand in front of another kind of energy that feeds on the drama, that feeds on the turmoil, that feeds on the dis-ease, right? Where you may be nurtured with the ease, with the calm, with the lightness, with the balance, with the quiet. They could be feeding or nurtured by the loud, the active, the you could say many people perhaps. Maybe you like more quiet, they actually like more activity. You know, it could be a balance that you need to find between those two. I'm just saying, if this is constantly in your life, I believe this is a problem, you know. If you live in a family here and you have your personal needs, right, and maybe you have a spouse that is very different than you. Maybe they like the drama, they like the turmoil, they like the, you know, to be part of that. Maybe they like the football game, but you don't. And you know, if they come home from the football game and they're injured, they come home to you. So now you have to take care of them, you know. So they bring, like, from engaging in something, they bring now their turmoil home to you, and you can now become a caretaker, a fixer, and so on. But actually, maybe you don't want any of it. Like, to preserve your peace, you should say no, right? but that's not how it works, right? We usually help each other out, and if this is our children we talk about, if this is our family we talk about, we help each other, right? I believe that most people that are in caretaking, you know, jobs, like nurses or kindergarten teachers, all kinds of therapists, healers, all this stuff, they come from this point of wanting to help people find peace, have more peace and understanding, have more confidence maybe about their own life, help them be able to take differently action in their life so that they can have more, you could say, balance or control in some sense. But it's like it never stops, right? There's always something. There is always some war going on. There's always some kind of disturbance going on, conflict. It's like a never-ending story in that sense. So I think that it's like, if you're on my channel, well, maybe you could have been experiencing some of the same stuff I've been experiencing, right? Because it's like I felt I was a scapegoat all my life. I feel like I've been one all my life. But I also realized that I somehow maybe I put myself there because I needed the peace, right? I needed, as a child, I needed that peace and reassurance. And I didn't get it, so I tried to calm everything down. So somehow I also participated in this sort of dynamic that was going on. And over time, I guess it just became what I got used to and what they got used to, and it was never really my intention. It was never what I wanted. But it was because I was protecting myself. I was trying to protect myself, and then it just kind of accelerated, right? So I acknowledge this today. I know this today. It's just, it doesn't necessarily make things easier. Or at least I have to become aware every time I interact with someone, especially my family. I have to become aware of some of this. What is it bringing to my life? What does it bring to my life? You know? And is this what I want? Or is it because usually these are, they are young boys, but sometimes, as I said, it could be a bit of an immature thing. As I said, they could go off and play football or horseback riding or something, but if you fall off the horse and you get injured, then you get home or you get into the hospital and someone has to care for that. It's like so from being out there and doing something, and if something happens that is weakening us in some sense, it now becomes someone else's problem to take care of that, to heal it. But I think those that get out there and play soccer, I think those that do go horseback riding, mountain climbing, or I don't know, off-piste skiing, because they're looking for adrenaline or because they're looking for some kind of kick. Well, I guess I get that. It's just when they return or they are rescued somehow from the glaciers or something out there, they get into the hospital or they get home and they need some kind of care. And I just think that it's okay to maybe say that, right? It's okay to say, look, every time you go out there and you do these things and you come home with some kind of injury or some kind of problem, you take it into my peace, like you bring it to my peace. And I don't want it. Like, I don't want your problem, right? I don't want you figure that out. Like, you figure out that if you go off-piste skiing, just know that if something happens, you figure out beforehand, before you go out there, just know that you are taking now some kind of risk. And you're maybe not even asking me, right? You're not even asking me what I think about that. You just expect that if something happens, you get home and I fix you somehow, right? And maybe that's not all right, just to expect something. Because this is what you normally do or this is what you've always done. Yeah, but maybe it shouldn't be like that. I feel like there is some kind of, again, I've had a lot about this yin yang stuff going on my channel. I think this is one of them as well. Like between one kind of feminine energy and then another, right? And of course, I know that there are many out there who would get angry, who would say, you got yourself into this mess, you fix it. Right? I don't want to have anything to do with that. And well, that's great if you do that. Perhaps then you have put up a boundary if you feel okay with it. But you know, the problem is that if you actually don't feel okay, you actually want them to be okay, you actually want them to be all right. You do actually care. But you see, the problem is also that if you have to take care of yourself and protect your peace, what they are doing is sometimes putting you in a situation where you have to become the bad one. Like in order for you to protect your boundaries and your own peace, you have to become the one that says, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. You have to figure that out yourself. I close the door. But actually feeling bad with it, or feeling bad doing it. You see? That's another thing, that to reject someone who is actually in pain is not fun. Perhaps someone we care about, it's not easy to reject someone who is actually in pain or needs help. But you can get to a point where to protect yourself and your own peace, or even your own money, your own stability, your own peace in the home, you can get to a point where you need to, right? You need to activate something in you that is maybe not what you want, but you still have to do it in order to protect yourself and your own peace, even though you know they are maybe hurting. Or, as I had in the Aries reading, this feeling of like a love-hate thing, right? That because you love them, you would do something for them, but at the same time hating that you feel like you have to, or when you do that, when you start helping them, you are at the same time also not protecting your own peace or your own boundaries. That I feel like that is a bit of a theme for this round of readings, that there's this, like, because I love them or because of something, I feel like it's my duty, or I should do this, it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, when I do that, at the same time there's something else that I'm overlooking with myself, or something that I'm not taking care of about myself, for instance. And it could all come from childhood. I'm just saying that this is what I feel like. There's things that we become familiar with, even though they are toxic and dysfunctional. This is usually what we seek out in adulthood also, even though, like, it's very unconscious, we don't know. And then you end up in similar turmoil again, not understanding why, but this can be one of the reasons for it. Okay. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. This is in the past position, so this can be at the left side, can indicate past position. Second chakra is the womb. So for females, this could be, children. And again, they are young here, children. the womb is, well, it's the life force, right? This is where we create life. This is the creative center. It is where all ideas come from, all passions also sometimes come from here. Can be sexual energy. And you know, there could be something here about I'm pretty drawn to like the bubble here, or it's just around her sacral chakra. But usually there's something about the picture. It could be her face and so on. I'm drawn to this is very much like a sexual energy or sacral chakra here. Well, this could be quite intense also combined with the wands energy. So we could talk about sexuality here. We could talk about with the again, wands energy is also sometimes can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be. It's fiery. It's well, it can be about temperament. There can be frustration here, you know. Fire energy can show itself in so many different ways. There can be, you know, like the passion is there, but if you have somehow experienced problems with expressing it, or as I said, you didn't have the peace to actually go towards what is your passion. Maybe you don't even know what your passion is, because there has never been time. You know, there has never been time and peace to ever figure it out. You know, masculine energy is quick, it's quick moving, it has a lot of drive, it has go-get energy, it has direction usually. Feminine energy is slow, it's way calmer, it's it goes where, you know, it's organic, it flows in different, it has a different expression, and it only unfolds itself if there's calm. So sometimes we have this come forward, you know, when it's nighttime, when we are trying to relax, sleep. Maybe you have certain dreams about something. But then during daytime, you know, then you are out there in the midst of the soccer game, or you are in the war zone again, or you know, your work. Maybe your work is quite confrontational here, or there's a lot to do. It's very active. It's very quick. It's very demanding. So the feminine part of you is, I feel like neglected. It's because it needs quiet time to actually express itself, to show up, to tell you something, or invite you to feel some kind of passion. Well, this could also, we could talk about like a low sex drive here, because the life you have is too stressful. So like it doesn't show up, the losing sexual activity, or even not wanting it, because there's no peace. Like the feminine part, I guess, is for a feminine to you could say, open herself and be receptive, fully feminine, receptive, open. It takes trust, it takes quiet peace, as I said, calm. There must be no war or threats around you, right? Well, I guess you could have sex, but you're not open. Like you would never be open. Like for feminine energy to be fully receptive, it takes trust and calm, and she has to feel secure. Otherwise, and there has to be peace around her, right? Otherwise, she can't. So to be fully receptive to, let's say, sexuality, for instance, requires calm here. We could even talk about that, as a child, maybe you felt like this could have been a lot of fighting in the home, shouting, fighting. Maybe you even have quarreling with your spouse, And because you have that, the piece is missing. Like this idea of the peace is not there. It never really comes. And it could have an influence on this chakra here. And this chakra could hold a lot of beauty, like a lot of passion, a lot of creativity maybe, but it's it's closed off because of this. Like you never get to open those doors unless you get some of this out of the way, It's only there if there's true peace and calm and support and trust and all this stuff that would make a flower open, right? But if there's constant threat here, it probably would close down again. It only opens when the sun comes out. It only opens when it's safe, I believe many feminine energies, they actually live their lives showing up more masculine. Like they build a masculine ego to be in the world, to do stuff in the world. And all the feminine part is neglected, yes. That peace that you may be seeking, or this, sometimes it never comes because this is always here, because there's always something here. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be fighting. Let's just say that you always have friends over. You always have dinners. You always have drama, or you always have conversation and gossiping or whatever. Maybe there's a part of you that likes that, but there's also a part of you, I believe, that is wanting something calmer. Yeah, so here I have the vision quest. And it's interesting, I said that it was like the circle here that is that I was focusing on here. And here it's like now this has grown very big, this circle. And the vision quest is now that she's trying to, embrace it. She's on a quest to get this back, or to find it, or to join it, or open it, Where here it's pretty small. Like she takes up most of the card here, and this has been kept very small. This is now very big and is very much on her mind to pursue this, to find ways of having, much more connection with whatever this is. So this, it can be a sexual thing, like it can be something creative that you wanna, it can be something creative that you would like to do more, from having just a small little connection with it, to now actually fully, this is a quest now. So now it has become this goal of yours to figure this out, or it has become this or as I said, this could just be peace, that maybe you are seeking peace enough to open yourself to something, or open this door of yours, and your way towards that takes you through this, like it takes you through an experience where you may need to fight for it. You may need to, as I said, maybe you have to become the ugly one. As I said, the one that says, no, you have gotten yourself into this mess, right? This is your own problem. You find help somewhere else. I am pursuing my own dreams here, or I am pursuing my own life. I'm not putting myself on hold for fixing you, Like the vision quest here can be, like, again, finding calm could be the first step to kind of enhance this little ball here. So finding peace in some way. This could be meditation, yoga. It could be alone time. It could be walking in nature. The vision quest could even be, because it talks about vision, this could be something about clairvoyance, like that you're opening up some kind of vision to go somewhere. A vision quest could also be like a vision board, that you put down all kinds of photos, that talks about what kind of life you want, or what you're aiming for. Maybe it's a specific partner, So you are now making a vision, visual, you could say, a visual board perhaps, of what your goal is. And you are now pursuing this quest, because you have made it a priority here. Like here it's not really a big priority. It's there, but you, like, she is filling up most of the space. This is just a minor dot here, where this now becomes almost the biggest here. And it kind of overrides everything else. It's like it's a big, like, again, this could be the feeling of a very, very small voice that you barely hear it in you. But now this, it looks like a big mouth, or like a big message, or a big quest, or a big need perhaps here. And it has become now your priority more than anything else, We could, of course, say that, because this is sacral chakra, and I said it was the womb and so on, that this could be a child. And it is a problem, like there is something with the child. It could be like a handicapped child. So now the child becomes the entire focus. We could talk about someone having difficulty getting pregnant here. That this is what this talks about. That pregnancy is very difficult here. There's a lot of problems here. Maybe you've had, long periods of fertility treatments and hormone injections and all kinds of stuff. So from having a little dream of wanting a child, you could be facing, a lot of problems here. And because you're facing a lot of problem, it's now everything you think about. From something quite minor, you thought that, well, is there a saying, something like, from thinking about something like a tiny mosquito to now thinking about it like a giant elephant? It's like something small has become very big in your awareness here. So let's say something was just a tiny little thing, but now it has become a big problem because you are fighting something here. Or it has become a big quest of yours to have this back, or to have this, or to connect with this, to be with this, to engage in this, which was minor before. And to get here, it's like you have to face something here. And it's the middle card, so I feel like you're right in it. Like this could be something that you are dealing with right now, that you are facing something about. As I said, this could be, I talk about peace, right? Because when the peace is there, it's like, this is where you can flow. Look at her, how she kind of just flows into this place here. How she can allow herself to just lean back and just flow and levitate into this, to let go, you could say, to let go and just float into this, levitate into this space of hers, where here she's definitely standing on her own 2 feet, and is like she's ready to do something. She's ready, she's alert, she's present, and we could go somewhere, right? She's ready to go somewhere. Because this is minor. It's there, but it's minor. We could even say that this one looks a bit like she's an angel, right? But she has the look on her face is a bit, I want to say, young. She could look, just on the brink of being not a child, not like a teenager here, right? Like a teenager with a growing sense of sexuality, perhaps, awakening here, and struggling with something, and then, now it becomes very big. It could be something like expression about sexuality, sensuality, something that was less now has become a big priority somehow. I want to say this could be a need also. How can I express this? Like if you dim something down a lot, it becomes more and more of a struggle. The reason why it may be dimmed down could be because something may have happened once, right? Something terrible may have happened, something abusive. And now you're trying to figure out how to overcome that. Being on some kind of quest here where you're trying to, it becomes a big thing now. Can I have the bottom of the deck for this chakra? So I get cornucopia here. I feel like for this, it's like cornucopia as a driver. This is usually something that comes before this one. Like, so before this one, first you have this and then this. So, okay. So you see, when we look at this, cornucopia is usually a card of, this is well fed, if I could use like the terms that I started with. This looks like a place in the forest that is quite well fed. There's a lot of fruit and like a lot of beautiful things here. The sunshine is there, the warmth is there, the little butterfly is there, or fairy. There's a lot of fruit here. Again, we could talk about fertility here. Fruit, fertility, a very fertile ground here. A fertile ground. So again, you could see like a teenager, the fertility is just growing here. It's well fed, she could be a very beautiful one, this one. Like she could be a very beautiful teenager here. From very fertile ground here with a lot of beautiful fruits and vegetables and beautiful growth and warmth. The sunshine is there, So she could be a beautiful, very beautiful, well-fed, well-nourished sacral chakra here. So let's say that this is your past, that this was you as a young teenager perhaps here, right? Then something happened here. It's not, being a teenager here, looking great here. This can of course be very good, but it can also be a problem. Like if people are not leaving you alone here, it could be a problem, right? Again, we could talk about a potential creative center here that has so much to offer. There's so much here. But because of something, you may not have been able to dive into it. And then it feels like you're trying to now, right? Here. Yeah. So the driver for this 5 of Wands, I have another 5 card, 2 5 cards. This is not good. 5 of Swords is, this is typically about manipulation, lies, betrayal, something done behind your back. Sometimes this is a driver for this. These are Swords energy. So Swords energy is air. This has to do with communication, things that have been said to you, things that have been, arguments, as I said, shouting, bickering, demeanoring, I hear, demeanoring, and again, look at the ground here, how unfertile it looks, how desert-like it is here. Like there is no nurture here. As I said, and I feel like it has to do with, again, this peace. If people come in with a lot of bickering, a lot of quarreling, a lot of criticizing, it takes away your peace. This is a very peaceful place, right? This is a very peaceful place. It's so well nurtured, so fertile, so beautiful. There's a lot here. There's a lot of life force here. And someone could have been, like looking like that in the world, like you had a very open sacral chakra. People could feel it, right? That you had a lot to offer here. That you had a lot of beauty here. But then, this is in the center, so it is quite prominent in your life somehow. 2 5 cards, these are not good. So you encountered something. You encountered things that have been said to you. And then fights here. Fights for fighting and things that have been said. So it could be war. Like you could have been in like, a child in a war. And again, it could be like aspiring sexuality, and you had criticism. You had warnings, maybe warnings about what you were participating in, or warnings about your friends or what they wanted from you. That could be, this, like, I hear discrimination. Like it's like usually this guy he's stealing these swords here, right? He's keeping 4 to himself. This is usually about his own healing. 4 of Swords is about healing, restoration, and then he has 1 to fight with, right? So he is keeping 4 for his own benefit, and then he has 1 to attack with here. 1 blade to cut off, or to again be brutally honest or something here. This could also talk about a truth that you have figured out. A truth that you have figured out about, a dry land here that is not healthy for you, because again, you need a place like this, right, to feel nourished and thriving and everything. And look at how peaceful it looks. There are no predators here. It's very calm and peaceful and well supplied here. But this is like a wasteland. This is like a dry wasteland with a lot of air, meaning that it's not very earthy. This is earthy with all the fruit and the nature and everything here. This is earthy. This is not very earthy. This is very windy, very dry, very stormful, maybe, very air-like. It's a lot of information. So this can be anything. It can come from the news, it can come from, you know, newspapers, it can come from people around you. That they tell you that things are scarce, right? This could be like a lack mentality thinking, that there is nothing here, we have no money, you know, all this stuff. And from this place, we are fighting our way through life. It's a struggle, it's difficult. We have to become much more masculine. We have to be able to fight. We have to be able to be strong and fit. We can't be weak. We can't be, and we cannot be passive, right? We cannot be passive. We have to take action here. Even if we have to fight our way through life, that is the way to do things. So whatever you may have here is not, it's like, you know, when there's so much turmoil, it takes the peace away here. Like, look at these cards beside each other here. This is extremely fertile and warmth with the sun coming in here. It's very peaceful with the little butterfly. There are no predators here. It's calm. It's easy. There's plenty. This is a place of plenty. This is a place of nothing. So it's like, and I just feel like it's small here. It's like it's, well, you may recognize it as something you want, right? But maybe not knowing how to get it, because life is like this, right? Life is like this. So we can't have all that cornucopia. Like, if we have to struggle and fight for everything, we can only have little here. But then it looks like, but I want it back, right? I need this back. I want this back. I want this. I don't know if it's a person. Like, maybe it's a person, you know, that with them, maybe things were great here. Without them, life is a struggle. It's a wasteland. It's dry. It's dark. It's cold. And pursuing, you know, like wanting something back here. And now it has become big in your awareness. This is something you dream about. This is something you're trying to manifest, perhaps. This is the wishful thinking. This is the dream life. This is the place where you can let go, wanting this back, or finding a way to bring that into your life. It says here completion. So completion can talk about wanting to complete a cycle of something. Like, you want to end, bring an end to some kind of suffering, perhaps. Because you want this back, right? So having this experience, but knowing you want to stop it. So now you have become aware that whatever this little small thing was here for me, it was it's my home, it's my peace, and I want this back, right? I'm prepared to have this back. So I'm pursuing something here. It could be peace, as I said, like it becomes more and more important to you to have this in your life, because, well, completion, it can talk about something completes you, something brings balance, something is the missing piece of something. Again, it could be a person, they complete me, you know, things like that. Something that is, but I feel like because this is a driver, the completion card usually is like the world card in tarot. This is like wanting to end something or wanting to find fulfillment. And fulfillment can be that you overcome something. You finally see something for what it is. You walk away, you put up the boundary, you say no, or you figure out what actually completes you. Maybe it is what I said, that there is something very significant that you need in your life. We could talk about a very specific need. A need that when that is present in your life, it's like you complete a problem, or you have solved a problem. You have solved a problem that blocks you from this, right? So this could be a healing process here, overcoming some kind of dry wasteland. This can be, like programming that we get when we grow up, that we are told stuff, and it could be quite abusive or toxic or dysfunctional, and it takes you away from your inner peace. It takes you away from maybe your imagination, your imaginary realm. It takes you away from the imaginary realm is creative. It takes you away from feeling peace and calm in your life. Again, if people come to you only with problems here, it disturbs your peace. It disturbs this picture here. And sometimes we find ourselves doing stuff to get it back. Now it seems like this is my priority, right? I choose this more than I choose to engage in whatever this is. Again, she's alone here, she's alone here. Here, it's like you are engaging with someone. There's someone sitting over here. So when we engage with other people, the world, circumstances, projects, work, we are engaging with something that is out of our control, but there is something that you could do perhaps here. I don't know, I even see it a bit like astral travel or something, leaning into a specific kind of healing method, meditation. Because when you do it, it's like the cycle completes. Maybe it becomes bigger again. Here it is very small. Here it's very enhanced. So it becomes what you focus on is where you're going, right? If this now becomes a very big goal of yours, a creative goal perhaps, you want to complete it, like you want to get it done. You want to figure it out. Maybe you're getting yourself out of a situation here, moving away from it, seeking this more than this. So let's say this represents a relationship with someone. Something that is very dry and very unnurturing here. It's very cold and dry. And very wasteland, like it doesn't bring in any fertile ground. It's just bringing in, criticism, maybe abuse, harshness, judgment, things like that. It's a very dark wasteland. There's nothing nurturing there. And it takes away this feeling, right? It takes away the feeling of, it could also be, something like confidence. Like there is so much beautiful, fertile ground here, so much beauty here, and so much supply. And if someone comes in and, tells you you are ugly, you're not good enough, you don't have what it takes, you don't know anything about the world is a problem, it's a struggle, it's harsh, you better have to buckle up, then it's hurtful, it's painful to this feeling. It could be breaking down your confidence, it could be breaking down your believing in yourself. Eventually it becomes very little here. And it's difficult to go out there and believing in yourself if you have very little confidence here. Life would maybe be a problem, a struggle. But now it seems like you're trying to, like it has become very big, like this, like maybe you have really been, you're seeking this place or this bubble, you want to enhancing this. You want this back, I feel like these two, they are like the same, like wanting to go somewhere where this is present. I've talked about quite a while back, I talked about like an inner zen zone, like a zone, a place where this is here. Because it's nurturing you, it's again, it could be the feeling it completes you, right? It's the completion of you. It brings something soothing or something completion is also interesting because the quest kind of indicates like a journey, like you are looking for something, and the idea that you're looking or searching or longing for something makes you walk, it makes you go somewhere, right? It makes you go towards something, seeking, longing, something here. But the completion kind of tells us that it's over, like the quest should be over. That you want something back here. You want something back, you want to complete yourself, seeking completion or seeking healing, perhaps here. You want to complete yourself, you want to heal yourself, heal a void. That is the driver card. The driver is that you want to heal yourself, you want to make yourself whole again. And that is why you are now on the quest. That's why you're on a quest here to, and this has become big in your awareness, you want it back. Or, you want this feeling back. So, when you want this feeling back, you are now trying to figure out what steps to make to get here. And that means that some of the steps could be that you walk away from something, that you start saying no to something that is not bringing this to your life, that shows up as criticism or rejection or resistance or something. That you are choosing more and more something that can bring you more of this in your life. And this has now become a priority. I feel like it's a big thing. I also feel like it's necessary. So this is not just an ego thing. It's because it's necessary. Because this has become too little. Like this other part of you is so big, and this little thing is a tiny little thing. It has to become more to be balanced in you. It has to be awakened more. The door has to be opened more. And you could be on a quest to figure out how to get that. Like, when do I have a feeling that I can let go? When do I have a feeling that I can relax? When do I have a feeling that I can open myself up? When do I have a feeling that I can trust? When do I have a feeling that I am safe? Right? And looking for that instead of this. Trying to manifest that kind of life, I feel like. Where you do have the warmth, the quiet life in nature, perhaps. There are no predators here. There are no problems, or something that makes you feel threatened, or something that takes the peace away. You're looking for ways of life where you have least amount of dis-ease, or least amount of problems, you could say. Something that disturbs your peace, or disturbs your supply, maybe, of something. Your fertility, because again, your fertility, this feeling of being well fed and well nurtured and well safe, and you can let go. You can just relax. It's safe here, right? I can dream here, right? This also, I can sleep, I can dream, right? Because I know that I'm safe here. I know I'm taken care of. I know that I'm surrounded by people that care about me, that wants my best, that wants to see me evolve into the best version of me. I have support here, looking for that, right? Looking for people or circumstances, or even, maybe a workplace, maybe a living environment that is, that is supportive of this dream here, this new vision of yours, where you want something to open more, you want something to, again, you may seek to trust more, you may seek to realizing, I would like people around me whom I can trust. I would like people around me, or circumstances around me, that nurture me. I want to feel whole again. I don't want to feel so threatened, or that life is so hard in some way. And yes, it may mean that you take yourself out of, that you have to say no to certain people, or you have to walk away from something. And it may feel like a problem, right? You may even recognize that I'm in some shit here, right? I'm in so much turmoil. How on earth am I supposed to get myself out of that? Because what I seek is this. Can I get an advice on the Five of Wands here? So if this is the case that someone wants to, leave turmoil in some way, you don't want to fight here, that I pursue something else here that I find is so much more important. I'm no longer engaging, or I see how I have been engaging in something here. Some kind of power struggle, maybe even. And I just, it's not worth it because it takes away my peace, right? Can we have an advice on this, please? This Five of Wands, and then how to get to this vision quest. So I get the Justice card. Well, it's a purple card, so it connects with the crown chakra. So this is something about your, like a download. It could be it's time that there's some balance. It's time to see things for what it is. Justice is usually about, fairness. Is it fair? Is this situation fair for me to be part of? Because I'm longing for something else here. So maybe this struggle here for me is not something that I want to participate in anymore. Again, justice can be, literally you are put in front of a judge and they're sentencing you to something. But it could also be that you become the judge here and you decide for yourself that this is not fair, that whatever this is not something I want to participate in anymore, because it's taking away my cornucopia here. And this is something I need. Like, this is a primal need. I need this to be there. Right? This is a fire element. There is no earth here. So whatever you have been participating in here has nothing to do with your earthly peace. Money, security, all this stuff. This could actually be something that has challenged this. It has challenged everything you know about your own confidence, that you're good enough, that there's peace here. Again, as I said, this could be the feeling of war, like you have been in some kind of turmoil with something. And it's taking away your peace here. And this is primal, like this is very important to you. Like, you need this in your core. To be the teddy bear, to be the calm and beautiful Taurus, right? If this is threatened in some way, you become different. Like, you become defensive here. You are threatened, right? And that is not what you need. You want this back, and it is now in your focus. So justice can be that maybe you need to be a judge here. Maybe you need to speak your sentence. Maybe you need to see things a bit black and white, yes or no, and choose. Choose something here. It says, fight for justice and equality, rulings made in your favor, and don't give up. You see, the judge is weighing the scales here and figuring out if, justice can also talk about like balance in your life, right? That in order for you to have balance in your life, or in order for you to feel whole again or complete again, the scales have to weigh differently. So you may need to prioritize something here for you to have this balance. And yes, sometimes, as I said before, it's like we have to become ugly. Like, well, in my case, and I don't know, maybe you are similar, if you are on my channel here, that I don't see myself particularly as a warrior. Like being aggressive and speaking harshly and think, well, I can speak my truth, but speaking harshly and aggressive and attacking and using force like that, it's not really my thing. So doing that is a bit against my normal instincts. But in order to get complete, you could say, or in order to fight for maybe my justice or my equality or my peace, well, maybe I need to look beyond my normal behavior and find this judge here. This is Libra energy, air energy, Libra. And, rise. I have to rise, he stands on a pedestal here, looking down on us, judging us, right? Of course, you can pray and ask for some kind of intervention. This is Archangel Raguel. You can ask for help. But otherwise, I want to say it almost looks a bit like rising to the occasion. From maybe being quite mistreated to being someone who can rise to the occasion and speak a truth about justice and equality and fighting for that. Standing your ground on something. But maybe you don't like being the judge. Like maybe you don't like to put yourself there. Being judged is usually not very fun. And being the judge is maybe also not fun. Receiving criticism is not fun. Right? We know what that feels like, or judgment or something. We know what that feels like. And then becoming the judge now. As I said, we don't want to be judged or criticized or demeaned or something here. And then rising and becoming one ourselves is maybe also not what we're looking for, but maybe necessary, and judging for ourselves and not letting ourselves be judged or demeaned by others. Now you rise and you become the judge of your own life and decide what you want and whether the circumstances you are in is fair or not. Like, is this fair? Whatever this is. Is this a fair situation for you? This situation and this doesn't provide any kind of nurture to you here. So why are we in it? Why do we find ourselves in this if it doesn't provide anything nurturing for you? Well, we are sometimes there because we love the people. We are committed to them, or we are engaged in this. We are intertwined with them. We work with them. We are, maybe there's a hierarchy thing going on here. Maybe they are your parents. Maybe they are your kids, right? There are responsibilities maybe here, duties or other kinds of stuff. There could be shame and guilt and other kind blaming and blame games and things like that going on here. Manipulation. And it all comes down to the ability of, like, are we want to participate in this? Like, do we want to participate in something like that? And eventually you, like, this is the advice card, that if you are in something like that, maybe you have to become the judge, even though you have been judged yourself. So what is a fair ruling here? What is a fair voice to speak from? Because of course you can be aggressive here and angry, and judgmental, and you can cut all ties and walk away and only pursue your own dream here. But well, it depends on who they are, I guess, right? If you feel like you want to do that, if you feel like it's not my responsibility, I pursue my own completion here because I don't ever want my peace or my happiness to be, or my fertility here. Fertility, I see this as your batteries, like your life force energy. It's your happiness, your joy, your passion, your freedom, your trust, your safety. All this is here. But if we are engaging in something, I'm just saying that there are energies here that are primarily nurtured or fed, or you could say by this. Like this is, charging their batteries, but it could be draining yours, right? So it's important to find people, places, work, maybe living environment and so on that actually nurtures you if you are feminine here. And if you resonate with the story, because if you don't resonate with it, then of course it's not for you, right? Then it's not yours. Like 2-5 cards, this is this is harsh, tough energy, and there is no reason why you should participate in something like this. But we do sometimes if we love them, right? If we are connected with them, if we have family bonds or ties, or if you are married here, or if these are your children. But maybe we shouldn't, right? Maybe we shouldn't stay in this. Maybe it's all right to say, no, this is not fair. Right? I need something else in this. If this is going to be something I participate in, I need something else here. I need balance. I need some kind of understanding, some kind of it's time for me to give my judgment on this. Maybe it's time for me to be honest and speak my truth here. Again, you're not a doormat, right? Something like that. And when you actually say no, this is about your own self-respect also, right? This is about them respecting you, but also your own self-respect, that you actually start building this integrity, right? Start building this. Again, we could see this like the protective wall around you, right? Like integrity or an aura of authenticity or boundaries or something here, because it's, and maybe you had only very few boundaries here, and now it has just become very big, because when you do have them, like when this is surrounding you, you can flow, you can relax, you can you know, because now this is secured. You don't have to be on guard or something like that, right? You don't have to maybe solve some kind of conflict here, or maybe it's not even yours. It's just something you have gotten involved in, I guess. It's something you've heard, something you've gotten involved in. And maybe you don't want to, like maybe you don't want to be part of that. As I said, like this could be someone else's problem or someone else's fight. And if they bring that to you, it could be challenging your peace here, and or your batteries, right? Your fertility, your life force energy. But what if you don't want it? Like what if you say, no, I think you should go somewhere else with that. This is not my problem. You got yourself into this. And we have talked about this before, haven't we? And even if we haven't, I'm telling you now that I don't think this is fair, right? Justice is about fairness. Something has happened, something has been done. What would be a fair sentence, or what is a fair solution to this? Because I still want my peace here. I want my integrity. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet and feel safe here. I want to be able to be safe within my own house, for instance. I want peace in my house. I want peace in my life. Or I want whatever this is in my life. I want it to be part of my life so that I can flow into this without needing to worry about something like this. I wanted another card on the 5 of Wands here. And I get the Tower card. The Tower would suggest, usually the Tower is something about that the tower could fall, you know, that you could lose your home, that the tower is built on solid ground, so if the foundation is weak, the tower can fall at any moment. We could talk about again, the life you have built for yourself is built on fighting. It's built on struggle and fight, and maybe lack mentality here, worries, very unfertile ground, very dry, very cold, very painful here. Someone is very wounded, someone looks dead here on the other side. It's a very drained, cold, harsh environment. It's been a struggle here. And when you build your life based on this, it can crumble at any time. That's what the Tower is about, right? That again, illness, there could be money issues, again, your house, maybe, again, you could become homeless, things like that, right? That you lose, or you figure out that the home you had or the roots you had, or something could be happening in your home, something that is, again, it's painful, it's hurtful, it's a power struggle fight, perhaps here. It's manipulative, maybe, and maybe it's time to call it out. That you see it, that you are aware, and that you are not participating in this, or at least if you're not saying it, you know it, right? You know that there's something that may need to be said or done, or maybe you need to draw a line in the sand, saying no. This is about self-respect also, right? About integrity and self-respect, not saying that you don't care about the other people, but you're just drawing this line in the sand that I need this peace. Like, I need us not to argue. I need this struggle to be over. I don't want it. I want this situation to stop somehow. That is the completion journey, right? I want to get away from this waste dry land here and this problem. So the right cards can talk about future. So because of some situation here, realizing that I have to rise up here and take charge of my own life, my own situation, and what's right for me, what's justice, what's equality, what's fair. And because of that, that's the advice. Because of that, if you do that, and take account of a situation and what it has brought you, like participating in this, what did it bring you? And then pursuing something else here. That you want things to be done, you want this cycle to stop, and you want to have a life where you are in charge, where you are supported, where people see your worth and they respect you, and so on, right? Things like that. So this is what I have for you, Taurus. Again, I have this feeling of like love-hate thing, like that we see ourselves participate in something because we may love them. But at the same time, this, whatever you're doing here, does something to you. And you hate that, right? That you hate what it does to you to be involved in something like this, because it's challenging your everything. It challenges your peace. It challenges your entire existence. The Tower, I usually also see this as, well, it can be that your entire life breaks down. You lose your home, you lose your work, you lose your health, you lose everything. That's what the tower, it is something that crumbles, and when it crumbles, it definitely takes the peace away, right? It definitely makes you feel uneasy and stressed and problematic. And it can be difficult to heal from, right? It can, if you are homeless and you have no money, it's difficult to suddenly get rich, right? It is difficult to suddenly be strong again. It's difficult to suddenly be healthy again. But someone realizes something here, needing to take different action here. And as I said, maybe become ugly, like sometimes we like need to say something that we're actually, maybe you have been holding it back, not wanting to stir the waters again. You want the peace here, right? So if you want the peace more than you want turmoil or whatever this is, I see it as peace, calm, safety. Again, money in the bank, you're secured. We could talk about security, safety, peace here. Warmth, again, the warm sunshine. There are no predators here. It's easy. It's well nurtured, well fed. Cornucopia is like Eden, right? It's this world where, like, it's a protective shell, right? That you are just this, well, a bit like an egg, right? So there's this protective shield around you, and you can just float in here in your cornucopia dreams here, right? That you want some of this back. But you just translate cornucopia to whatever that is for you, right? I say peace, security, safety. I think it is for earth signs. Very sometimes materialistic, food, bills are paid, roof over your head. It's calm. It's not a violent environment. It's not with a lot of gang crimes and shooting, and it's quiet. It's peaceful. There's fresh air here, fresh, countryside grown vegetables and fruits, and there's a lot of it. Like that, there's plenty here, plenty, right? And but here there's not. It's always scarce. It's always a bit on the edge. It's always this can break at any moment, things like that. And the advice is to rise up and choose to fight for what is fair and speak up for yourself and build this integrity here, this the boundaries around you, perhaps, grow something, again, grow it bigger. And maybe you had very little boundaries here, maybe very little confidence, very, very little. Now it takes up all the space. Like, it's not a little dot in here now, it takes up all the space. It's big, it's bigger. Because it's supposed to surround you here with a sense of, security, so that you can relax more. You don't have to be the fixer or the caretaker or the, I don't know, here. Actually, it's the other way around. It's that someone actually could care for you, because feminine energy is like that, right? Feminine energy is receptive. It's supposed to receive something. That's how it's designed. It's supposed to receive something. It's the cup. It's Venus. It's supposed to receive, not always give. It's supposed to receive something. Like a cup, right? But I get it, like the world we live in is not designed like that. Feminine energy is just as much providers as masculine energy is. I just know that when feminine energy chooses their peace over another man, for instance, like it's because it's done, right? It's over. Like when feminine energy chooses peace over more drama or more involvement, then it's just done. Like it's like being in a repair mode, right? Needing to repair yourself. Because whatever you're dealing with here is just challenging even your body, I want to say. Body, your house, your home, your sense of feeling safe. It's draining energy. It's built on unstable ground or unstable roots. It's dysfunctional or toxic even. I think it's important for everyone out there to figure out what feels toxic for you. I think masculine energy, like being with someone who favors peace and harmony and balance all the time, that this could feel toxic to a fire masculine energy. Like this could feel draining to a fire masculine energy. If someone constantly wants peace and harmony and balance and like the drama or the fighting, the need to prove yourself, the need to overcome something as a masculine fire sign, that is necessary for them. So taking that opportunity away from them would drain them. Like it would make them feel so limited. Just as this does to you, like it's just opposite energies. I just think that if we somehow know this, if we can somehow just become aware of what your core may be, like what your core needs are here. Because usually we get attracted to our opposite. And our opposite is literally that opposite. It's not like us. It's not like this. It's the opposite. It's more like this. So when we are with someone like that, eventually it's becoming a problem, It becomes a problem. Um, so I just, that's what I want to say, I guess, that we just have to become aware of what's in front of us. And we cannot necessarily make it change. Like they cannot make you change. Like you will still need this. And they may still need this, you know. So how do you find balance? If you still want to be with them, how do you find balance in that? How's maybe you need days alone where they can go out and, you know, mountain climbing or something. It's just, you just have to become aware of what actually makes you like, what nurtures you or what gives you back some kind of control or integrity again in your life. Especially if you've been dealing with something like this. Yeah, so this is what I have. I hope this helps somehow, Taurus. I know it's not solving your problems. I'm just maybe just making you aware of this. And if we overlook this again and again and again, it becomes so small that eventually this may fall, you know. Like eventually maybe you get sick, eventually you lose something, you may lose money, or eventually it's so yes, from being judged maybe you end up becoming the judge of something. But it's for it this is the advice, like to rise up and see things for what it is, looking for some kind of fair solution. And but if it is not possible to find something fair, I would say you should decide for yourself to go toward what this is for you, right? More than trying to make someone else understand and agree and accommodate. If they don't want to, like, then you should make a judgment for yourself and maybe walk away, right? And this can be easier said than done. Maybe this is a process. Maybe this is something you have to watch it or observe something over a period of time before you decide what you want to do, right? And I don't think it's easy either. I like sometimes it takes a lot of bravery to, and maybe you need to gather that first before you actually, you know, do something. This is what I have. I hope this helps somehow, Taurus. Please take care of yourself out there, all of you. I send you, as always, my best love and light to you. Bye bye.